Hi guys, it's Andy again from Model Designs with an addendum to my first session that I did about equipment. Now in that first session I mentioned that this was a Stanley knife, when in fact it's actually a retractable blade craft knife. Okay, thanks to the guys on the forum for mentioning that Stanley is the name of a maker of knife, and also I called it an X-Acto knife as well. That's another make of a knife over there in the US. So that's just my generic name. A Stanley knife is just my generic name for you know, a retractable blade knife. So really this should have been called a retractable blade knife. So there you go, I just want to correct that. And also a guy on the forum mentioned that the handle, at the end of the handle there is, I don't know if you can quite see that if I bring it up, a slot just there. Now I've been using these knives for years and I've never even noticed that. So what he says is that you can take the handle off the back and that's used for putting in and snapping the blade off. Now I'm not sure exactly how the blade goes in to be snapped off. You know, so personally I would still use a pair of pliers. I don't have them with me. No, I don't have them handy. I thought I brought them in, but no. Because once you snap, you don't know where. There's nothing to grip. Okay, there's no grip on that. So when you snap, you don't want that going pew and flying off anywhere. So a nice pair of pliers I would suggest to grab those, because when you snap, you're still left with the blade in the pliers. I also turn my head as well. When I snap the blade, I'll turn my head, because if anything does fly off, I'd rather have a slice in my ear than have a slice in my eye. Yeah, so I mean, it's up to you if you want to try and snap the blade using this. I'm not sure, I've never used it before, I've never noticed it before. I mean, you know, please be careful with these knives because they're really, really sharp. But my personal preference is a pair of pliers. Okay, next is I want to show you two pieces of equipment which I forgot all about on my very first session. Bit of cardboard. This is used for, if I just grab that, it's for gluing. Okay, so I have my glue and I'll get my glue stick. I know this is a pen, but I'll use this instead, and I'll just go over like everywhere, and I won't be worried as to I'm going off on the edges. Okay, so this is my gluing board, my gluing bit of cardboard. Because if you do it on here, if you're gluing on here and you start gluing and you're going over to the edges and you're going all over your thing, going all over your cutting board, then when you're cutting, it's going to stick and you're going to be ripping it off and pieces are going to be stuck to there. So I would suggest a nice bit of cardboard or a bit of paper, whatever's easier, and then you can glue away to your heart's content and you're not worrying about where you're going with the glue. So that's one of the other pieces of equipment I use. The next is a lovely pair of pliers. Oh sorry, tweezers, not pliers. Where we got pliers from? Tweezers. Now these tweezers are handy for getting into little areas where you want to glue down, where you can't get your fingers in, particularly posts. Okay, you have a little tab, I'm sure you can see that there, a little tab which sticks onto this area here, like so. Now, a bit fiddly getting your finger in, trying to get your finger in, which is where the tweezers come in handy. Slip them in and you can press down, and you're pressing the tab and you're pressing, and once I've got a firm hold I use the back end of the pliers. So I put the pliers in and I push down. So basically I'm just putting the pliers in and dragging and pushing down, and it really gets into those little areas there. If I can get it in, there you go. Okay, so tweezers and a bit of cardboard for gluing. That's my other bit of equipment. Oh, one last thing. is you can snap these blades off, okay, but someone also suggested sharpening the blades because apparently they don't come that sharp when you buy them due to EU standards or something or other. So it might be an idea to sharpen the blade. Now you can use a whetstone, just like a granite stone where you can do the manual sharpening, or you can buy sharpening tools, which I just happen to have one here, which is a multi-purpose sharpening tool. There's all sorts of gizmos and gadgets on it. But to sharpen here, this little groove. Okay, which is fantastic. This is also a cutting tool as well. As you can see, cuts there. Bring that out. Cuts there. I mean, there's all sorts for it to do. A little cutting tool on the edge there for glass. And believe it or not, this whole tool cost me that magical number £1, as like everything else does. So there you have it. Just a little addendum to session 1. Retractable craft knife, not a Stanley knife or X-Acto knife. A sharpener if you want to sharpen them up. Some cardboard or something you can glue on and you're not bothered getting glue all over. This is from Amazon. You know, packages from Amazon. And tweezers to get into those hard to reach places. So there you have it. That was just a little addendum, like I said, just to catch up and correct a few things on my first session. And hopefully when I see you again, I'll be on to my next session, which is all about the materials I'll be using. All the card, all the paper, you know, foam core and that sort of thing. I'll be showing you all that. So until next time guys, I'll catch you later. Bye.